Tag TV and Tag Radio. Be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Broom, broom, get your motors running. It's the 2011 Techie 5K, 10K Run Walk, and it's this October 1st, 2011 at 130 Technology Parkway. It all starts at 6:30 a.m. and the race starts at 8 a.m. Come out and support your company by running in the Techie 5K, 10K. This fundraiser for the Tag Education Collaborative is full of fun and excitement. Brought to you by our platinum sponsors, Verint, and our gold sponsors, Insperity, OpenSpan, Autotrader.com, Red Prairie, and Datum Software. An entrepreneurial vision proven by performance. It began in January 2008 as an eBay store. By September of that year, he hired his first employees, executives in charge of information technology and business development. By October of that year, he expanded product lines, established a marketing department, and brand identity for the company. By the end of the first year, major inventory investments were made to fill increasing customer demand. By January 2009, the company saw tremendous growth and expanded from a single warehouse location to new offices, new websites, expanded footprint on eBay, and by year-end, hired a VP to manage a direct sales operation. The trend upward for growth and expansion continues, passed into 2010 and now into 2011. When Aventis Systems opened its doors, it could not have happened at a more opportune time. Greetings, everyone. It's Thursday, September 15, 2011, and this is a special Tag Premier Member Showcase edition of Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. I'm your guest host, Frank Baia. The weakening economy throughout the U.S. has already started to affect small and large businesses. Companies everywhere are being forced to stretch ever-tightening budgets while satisfying requirements for IT maintenance and growth. Solution? Aventis, an entrepreneurial vision that has transformed into a rapid growth company reality with a single mission: fill the need for affordable IT equipment utilizing new and refurbished products. Provide a complete solution precise to the need and budget, from networking equipment to server storage, desktops, laptops, and more. Up to today's Tag Premier Showcase, Karl, Aventis Vice President, responsible for leading and coordinating the company's sales and business development, and is also responsible for recommending emerging business technologies to the company president. The one-stop solution for IT in a demanding and changing economic environment. What small and large business owners, operators, executives, and IT leaders need to know now as we Tech Talk IT infrastructure and beyond with Karl, Vice President, Aventis Systems. Karl, welcome to Tech Talk.
Thank you for having me on today. I appreciate the time.
Karl, I'm really fascinated about the whole concept of Aventis and maybe a little bit about the history. I know it goes back to your founder actually creating a really good idea and a successful method of selling hardware and I think some, I'm not sure, storage capacity. I'm not sure, again, on eBay. But maybe go into a little bit of background of the history of the company and then maybe some insights into your local and national presence.
Great question, Frank. So when you look at Aventis, and Hassam LeMay is our president and founder, and he had an idea, and that idea was to be able to provide the marketplace with Dell products, Dell and HP specifically. And what we were looking at was we wanted to provide new and refurbished servers, storage, as well as Cisco network equipment. And when you look at our organization and the suite of offerings that we have with our business class workstations, the desktops, the laptops, and all the hardware, it's really a great idea that he came up with. We looked at the market and we really wanted to set up a mission that, or a way to provide our customers with what we thought was a comprehensive plan to support their IT needs. Mm-hmm. And when we did that, it was really with the focus of the customer. And we said, you know what, the critical parts that we believe that are in the marketplace today are warranty, knowledgeable staff, again, a quality product, and customizable solutions. And when we did that, we came out with an industry-leading 3-year warranty at the time. And so we were ahead of the curve. We were ahead of our competitors in that way. And when you look at us today in our national and our local presence, our two best markets are obviously the Southeast, where we are today, leads us in sales and revenue. But it's followed by California. And when you look at our California market, it is a progressive market. They are really grasping to the green concept of refurbished hardware, and they take full advantage of it. And our global presence, we're currently in, I believe it's 15 countries today. Wow. And Canada is the leading market outside of the U.S., followed by Puerto Rico and Guam, and we go as far, if you want to say west, as Japan. So we're seeing real sales and real growth in our industry today.
Nothing works as a good idea.
At all.
Well, truly, for our listeners and for TAG members, if I'm correct, the company started in 2008, right?
In 2008, so this is our fourth year in business. Yes, fourth year in business. $13 million in revenue is what we have forecasted this year, and we're on pace to actually exceed that number. So we're really excited.
When you consider the fact that with so much consolidation going on, so many advanced technologies happening, the impact of both of those things creating a difficult path for decision makers to go on, what a great resource to know that they can go to a turnkey operation that basically is going to take care of all of their needs kind of in a one-stop shop.
And that's the idea, is that we provide the best technical solutions when you look at our sales team. You're not going to go to multiple reps because that's their specialty. You'll spend time with one rep that's assigned to your account, and that rep will get to know you, understand your business, your IT requirements, and then he's able to give you a customizable solution. And we try to scale as our customer scales. So in other words, if a customer is growing, then obviously we'll grow with them. And if they're scaling back on their hardware, then we'll look to acquire that hardware back from them. So it's a very good business model, and it really gives our customers a long-term solution.
Well, and I think therein lies the point, a long-term solution. You can build a relationship, and no matter what the waves of the economy up or down, or no matter what you're dealing with in terms of scalability, in terms of growth, I can see where it adapts in a lot of different ways. Obviously, you've mentioned many factors that have contributed to your unbelievably tremendous growth, but is there any others that you haven't brought up?
Yes. The first thing that we always start with is our personnel. It's who you hire. In today's marketplace, there's a wealth of talent that's available, and you have to be willing to spend time looking at that talent and evaluating that talent. And as a business owner, my owner, we consistently remind him that we want him working on the business and not in the business. And while that's a cliche, it's really true, because when we get him into higher thinking and get him into the higher products or projects, we find that we're able to move the business forward. And it allows us the time to focus on our personnel as the business leaders and department heads. So when you go out and you're looking at the talent pool, though, make sure that you're evaluating not just your traditional salesperson or your traditional technician or whatever the case may be for your specific business. What we try to focus on, do they have the right skills? Do they have the right background, meaning their education? And have they demonstrated a desire to grow and learn? And if they've done that in their career and they can demonstrate that to us, we take a very hard look at that person. To give you an example, my number one sales rep is not from technology per se hardware. He's from he has a software background. My best technician and my number one engineer, we couldn't do some of the sales without him. And yet his background is sales support. And he just does a great job with the builds, with his team. And I can't say enough about the personnel and my owner's commitment to them. That's critical. As an owner, I think that you have to embrace your personnel and be willing to go the extra mile for them, because at the end of the day, if they're successful, then the business is successful, and we're successful delivering the quality of service we want to provide to our customers. The next thing that... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, please, go ahead.
The other thing that I would say that I would really put in front of everyone is we look at our multi-channel development, diversity, for long-term success. A lot of instances, business owners will create a business model, they'll go into the marketplace, and they'll have that core customer that they depend on and rely on. And if anything were to ever happen to that, then there's challenges to their business model. We, however, have a very diverse channel. And we started, as you said earlier, on eBay, and we developed that channel and we mastered that channel. After that, we went into a position where now it's time to acquire talent. We went out and we sought the right talent. We trained that talent. We followed up with that talent. And we watched them as they developed. And as they became masters of our hardware, we then moved into other channels. And yet we never lost focus on any channel that we had prior to. So as you develop your business model, look at how can I become more diverse? How can I reach more customers and bring more brand awareness, and take that brand awareness and turn it into an opportunity for a sale? And that's been a real push and part of our overall development and growth.
I think when you talk about the kind of culture that you're producing internally, that's the same kind of character and integrity that goes out to the clients that you work with, because I think in so many cases trust becomes such a concern. Being able to get the advice is one thing, but to actually know that you can trust that advice, and it isn't about a commission or about a sales figure. It's actually about caring enough to take care of that individual's needs. And I think that starts at home, if you would, by the way you're describing the internal culture. And then the other part of that I'm really impressed with is, it's probably silly to say this, but it's almost like an American Idol story or one of those crazy YouTube videos that goes viral and has 10 million hits. Here's a visionary and entrepreneur who takes a concept, relatively simple, not necessarily proprietary, and goes to eBay and actually builds a global business out of it. It's a pretty fascinating entrepreneurial story, as well as just a great idea. Obviously, you've talked a lot about the tremendous growth. You've talked about the internal culture. Let's go to the other side. What about the challenges? Have you guys faced any challenges in entering the market?
I think there's always new challenges. And when we initially went into the market, there's something that I heard a long time ago that my owner really, really exhibits, and that's persistence and consistency. When we first went into the marketplace, we really had a lack of capital, and that's not anything new to any business owner that really wants to own his own business. We didn't go out. Mr. LeMay, he did not go out and seek a lot of investors. He really did something that I'm proud to be able to speak on, which is he just asked his family for a few dollars. He got a personal loan. He had a few dollars from his family, and then he really started to invest in the hardware. He was smart about what we needed to have versus what we wanted to market. And once we did that, as we continued to sell and evolve, what he did, which was pretty prophetic and it's extremely outstanding, was to reinvest. He didn't take out of the company. He reinvested in the company. And he continues to do that today. And within 3 years, we were debt-free. So now we have over...
the story just continues. Well, so many times we've used the term disruptive technologies. We're seeing a lot of that happening with clouds and apps, and where source to consumption is being radically shifted by what was before and what can be done now. Here's a basic understanding, a concept that fulfills really not only a need but a promise, and it actually is a story within its own self. So not only are you helping or working with other entrepreneurs, other business owners and companies to help them reach their vision, but it's a visionary story within itself. It's quite impressive.
Thank you. And we work very hard at it. We work very, very hard at it. The other thing that we saw in the marketplace when we came in is that hardware, IT hardware, is a very competitive market. And what I would tell anyone coming into any market is to understand that landscape.
Mm-hmm.
And as we went into the marketplace, what we said we wanted to do was be disruptive. We wanted to create, not have our brand dictated to. We wanted to create a space within the marketplace for ourselves and yet have customers come back to us. So a lot of times when customers look at our brand, what they see is the first thing that we talk about, and everyone here speaks to it very clearly, is quality of service. We have to provide the best quality of service. We have to provide the best customization so that when a customer receives their hardware and we come back and we ask them on their follow-up, walk me through the entire interaction with Aventis, that we get all perfect ratings. We seek that. We have a desire for it, and we're committed to it. And we're committed to finding out and discovering where the challenges are within our own processes. So that was the hardest thing for us, I think, when I first arrived, was looking internally at our processes and ensuring that our processes were centered around quality. And it has just been something that everyone here has embraced, and we're very proud of it. But the competitive marketplace that resides today is just it's so critical that as a business owner and as a business, that your brand awareness,
mm-hmm.
that you bring a highlight that no one else can sit there and say, well, wow, someone else does it like them. You want to be the differentiator.
Yeah, that was the word I was thinking.
Aspects.
You took the word right off the top of my head. I was thinking differentiator. And, one of the things, we've gone through fluid, and then we said dynamic fluidity, then we talked about growth being exponential. I think nowadays we call it phantasmagoric. There's some kind of magical dust where things are changing. So you've got this rapid change within a marketplace, a rapid change within the evolution of innovation as far as technologies. For our listeners, what, in your perspective, are the emerging technologies do you think that will impact your business over the next few years?
When we look at emerging technologies, the biggest challenge for us today, or the largest technology that's out there today that we think is going to have a impact on our business, is virtualization in cloud. When we look at that emerging technology, we really want to make sure that our customers are evaluating their infrastructure, because we understand as a business and as a hardware provider that the cloud is centered around hardware. And while it will reduce a business's overall capital costs on the front end, as that customer grows, that customer at some point will say, parts of my business can reside in the cloud, those things can be virtualized, but there are parts of my business that I have to own. And we see that as a challenge for us. We see that as an opportunity for us, both the cloud provider and the customer looking to come out of the cloud. Because we see a lot of small businesses today that really the cloud is a very good solution for them. Let's be honest, it is. And for us, we recognize that's healthy, because the cloud provider has to have that hardware, and we're able to provide them with the hardware to provide the solution for those businesses. Our target customer today is 100 to 700 employee space, so that impact of the cloud itself is not as threatening within that space. Virtualization for us is a great opportunity. We're seeing more customers call and speak to us on virtualization and how to virtualize, and that's where my IT team and my engineers have really just accelerated, because they're able to provide customers with a customizable solution that says, here's the way to virtualize, here's the best opportunity for you to move your business forward while reducing your cap costs. So we're able to, again, look at the technology and find opportunity versus looking at the top technology and saying, I'm not sure if that's what we want to do. So we're looking at this emerging technology as an opportunity, not as a challenge per se to our business model.
Sure. And again, it's an opportunity for every business that makes contact with you, because instead of being challenged by these changes, these emerging technologies, this disruption. They can basically get collaboration and a certain level of consultation with people that are doing it in other places with other success stories behind them over and over and over again. So, again, it goes back to that trust factor. We're running out of time, unfortunately. The really, really good interviews, Karl, have a tendency to go as fast as they can. You've really been, I think, informative. A lot of our listeners are amazed to know that a concept like Aventis exists. But I think I'd be remiss in not posing one last question to you, and that is TAG, Technology Association of Georgia. From your perspective, what value has an organization like the Technology Association brought to your business?
It has been immeasurable. We do, and we've had the opportunity to do so many things with TAG. It goes without speaking. Our revenues every year, just being affiliated with TAG. In 2008, I know we were just under $500,000 from businesses associated with TAG to 2011, where right now today we're just short of $2 million in revenue from being associated with TAG.
That's great.
When we look at Tino Mantella, it has been some of his mentorship with my director of business development. It has been his passion to work with our business and to give us the opportunity to work with him and to help us with our overall success. So I cannot and would not be understating that we're very appreciative to be a partner with TAG and have the opportunity to work with TAG and its members.
Well, Karl, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Things are really growing fast over there, and I can, based on the concept, clearly it's only the beginning. Great and continued success, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here today on Tech Talk.
Frank, thank you, and I appreciate again the opportunity to speak to you and to the constituents of TAG.